This cave was considered completely safe for students, but in just a few minutes it turned into a deadly trap. Outside, the sun blazed not a single drop of rain, but deep underground a sudden deadly flood struck without warning. It was Joseph's first time exploring a cave, and it would be the last time he ever saw daylight. This is a true story about the tragedy at Manchester Hole. November 2005, North Yorkshire, England. Joseph, 14 years old, a ninth grader at Tadcaster Grammar School, joined 10 classmates, a math teacher, and a young guide only 17 years old to explore Manchester Hole. This cave was considered safe, easy, and perfect for beginners. The entrance was just a small, dark, muddy hole. One by one, they crawled in, mixing nervous laughs with excitement. The guide led the way, showing them how to squeeze through narrow, slick, freezing passages. They reached Chamber 1, a room as big as a soccer field with a ceiling nearly 50 feet high. The glittering rock formations looked like something out of a movie. Joseph stood frozen. For the first time, he saw such strange beauty underground. This was a trip he thought he would never forget. The group didn't stay long. They pushed deeper. The light faded. The cold air slapped their faces. Footsteps echoed. Water dripped like a ticking clock. They squeezed through another narrow section and reached Chamber 2, smaller with a lower ceiling. Their flashlights swung around, revealing wet mud walls and damp rocks. Ahead was a small tunnel, pitch black like a bottomless mouth. Everyone forgot their tiredness, excited to keep going. But no one knew this was the start of a nightmare. Joseph and the group had to crawl on hands and knees through a narrow 40-foot passage. The tunnel twisted and turned, slippery mud sticking everywhere, their clothes soaked and freezing. Once inside, there was no way to turn back. The light was dim, space was tight, and their breathing turned heavy and quick. Fear quickly shifted into excitement when they reached Chamber 3, a space big enough to stand, take a deep breath, and finally laugh in relief. Everyone thought the hardest part was over. But then, a chilling realization hit them. The water level was strangely high and still rising. Outside, the weather was clear cold, no rain at all. The young guide panicked, confused about where all this water was coming from. Chaos took over fast. Water reached their ankles, then their knees. Panic seized them. Flashlights whipped around wildly in frantic beams. The air choked with desperate gasps and piercing screams. In just minutes, a safe cave turned into a deadly trap. The guide realized the danger and ordered everyone to retreat immediately. But in that moment, each person had just one question echoing in their mind. Would they make it out or be trapped forever in the dark? The math teacher led the way, followed by the students one by one. The guide stayed at the back, making sure no one was left behind. The tunnel was tight, everyone squeezed together trying to crawl out. Suddenly, a huge surge of water slammed in, carrying mud and rocks, throwing everything into chaos. At a narrow, steep section, the group had to stop crawling out one by one while water kept pouring in. The kids shrieked, a tangle of pushing limbs and desperate shouts, each one clawing for an exit. Seeing the danger, the guide decided Amy and Joseph would go back to the chamber behind them to wait while the others got out. The teacher and the other 9 students managed to reach Chamber 2 safely. The 3 of them huddled together in the tight space, icy water rising to their chests, then to their shoulders. There was no way out. Amy sobbed, shaking. Joseph stood utterly frozen, eyes wide and unblinking with sheer terror. The guide tried to stay calm, telling them they had to swim now or die right there. There was no choice left: swim into the darkness or wait to die. The 3 took deep breaths and pushed into the tunnel. The guide went first. Amy followed. Joseph was last. Their only exit was now fully flooded, pitch black. Just one breath for a 40-foot stretch. They pushed forward in pure desperation. Water quickly filled the tunnel. Amy flailed, panicking in the dark. A strong hand grabbed her arm, pulling her out of the flood. It was the guide. Both burst up into Chamber 2, gasping, barely escaping death. Amy's eyes darted around, her breath sharp and fast, but her gaze turned hopeless. Joseph, where was he? The teacher and the rest of the group huddled in Chamber 2, panicking when they realized Joseph was missing. The water kept rising, freezing cold, pouring in nonstop. Everyone knew they had to escape immediately or be buried with Joseph. One by one, they crawled out of the cave, running up to the surface, shivering, covered in mud, faces pale. They quickly called rescue teams. Looking up, they saw only blue sky, bright sun, not a single drop of rain. Everyone wondered, where did this deadly water come from? The truth slowly came out. Strong winds had pushed tens of thousands of gallons of water over Scar House Dam, causing the river level to rise more than 3 feet in just 1 hour. The floodwater rushed into the cave system so fast it overwhelmed the natural drainage. In just minutes, the entire cave was underwater. 20 minutes later, the professional rescue team arrived. The wind had died down the overflow from Scar House. Dam stopped and the water started to drop quickly. 30 minutes after that, the water level had fallen to knee height. The rescue team crawled inside, but no miracle waited. Joseph didn't make it. He had been trapped at the tightest point. The surviving students were left deeply traumatized, and the entire school was shaken to its core. This tragedy is a harsh reminder: nature is never truly safe, no matter if the sky is clear or there's no rain. Every adventure requires checking water sources, dams, and rivers carefully, because one small oversight can take a life. Above all, the ability to stay calm and make fast decisions in those critical moments is what decides who lives and who doesn't. So what would you do when pushed to that final choice: swim into the darkness or accept sinking? Do you believe you'd stay calm enough to survive? Drop your thoughts in the comments.